Last week, Microsoft updated their VSCode extension for Arduino, and it's version 0.5, which they said is a preview version. And I think Microsoft is just saying that the VSCode extension for Arduino is not production ready or something like that. But it's been around for 6 years, I think, and it works just fine. 0.5 is a minor update with some added changes and some new features. On the Microsoft repository, we see the changelog for version 0.5. They added things and changed things in that version, and we will see in a moment that some of the things they changed actually brought new features. They now bundle the Arduino CLI with the VS Code extension of Arduino. So now you can use the extension without relying on an external CLI. So you don't have to specify the command path or the Arduino path to the external installation, external to VS Code. So for example, when you install the Arduino IDE, so you can now use the Arduino CLI bundled with the extension. So in VS Code, if you go to the settings and you search the Arduino settings, you're going to see at the bottom of the settings for Arduino that you have now the option to use the built-in Arduino CLI instead of having to specify the command path or the Arduino path of an external installation of the Arduino CLI or the Arduino IDE. And if I remember well, when I updated the VS Code extension of Arduino, it asked me if I wanted to use the built-in Arduino CLI, and I answered yes, and it's now my default setting. They also added two minor things, two warnings when there are no boards installed or when there are no Arduino examples available, for example, when installing a new library. And these are minor additions for enhancing the user experience. Now, before moving to the next section of what has changed in this updated version of the VS Code extension for Arduino, because there's a new feature there that I want to demonstrate, I ran into a problem after updating the VS Code extension for Arduino, and I didn't see the problem reported on the Microsoft repository, and I tried 45 minutes figuring out what was going wrong with the updated version of the VS Code extension, and I find a solution that I want to share with you in case you run into the same problem on your side. So here I have an Arduino.ino containing an empty sketch, and what is happening in when I try to compile it, I actually have an error saying that the file is missing, and the compiler is looking for a test.ino file, and my file name is actually Arduino.ino, and you see that it's looking for a file, a .ino file that has the same name as the folder where it is stored, even though in the .vscode setting for the project the sketch is named Arduino.ino. So to resolve that issue, the only workaround I found is actually renaming the .ino file. So here is my folder containing my Arduino.ino file, and what I have to do actually is renaming it and give it the same name as the folder where it is stored. So it's stored in the test folder, so I rename it test.ino, and if I compile it again, now it finds the file, the Arduino, the .ino file, and it's compiling correctly, and I'm pretty sure Microsoft will release an updated version to correct that problem in the future. So let me know if you encounter the same problem on your side, or if I missed anything regarding settings that I'm not aware of. Let me know in the comments. Now if we go back to the changelog and we look at the change section, we see that Microsoft replace the built-in serial monitor with a new serial monitor extension. And what they're doing is actually, when you install the VSCode extension for Arduino, it also installed this serial monitor extension. And what it does is adding a new feature. Before, you could only monitor output coming from the Arduino microcontroller on the serial port and seeing the result on the serial monitor. Now you can use the serial monitor as an input to send information on the serial port to the Arduino microcontroller. So this is the new serial monitor extension that is installed at the same time as you update the VSCode extension for Arduino. If we open the serial monitor, we're going to see a few changes. This is the new interface of the serial monitor extension, and there are quite some changes. You can select here the port, the COM port, the baud rate, and you have here the new feature where you can enter anything that you can send actually to the Arduino. So I've made this little sketch where I print the test string to the serial monitor, so it's here as an output. But here in the loop function, I'm actually reading any input coming from the serial monitor and print it back to the serial monitor. So for example, if I type hello and send it to the Arduino, I'm getting back the hello string. So if we go back to the changelog, so they remove the survey prompts, and I'm not sure I saw any survey prompts, but they removed it, and they fixed the IntelliSense configuration step that was sparse in the Arduino CLI output. So that was a summary of the updated version of the Arduino extension in VS Code version 0.5, and thanks for watching.